What's going on, everyone? So, based on reports, the Lakers are still active in trying to find some variation of trade, right? D'Angelo Russell is still being shopped around. Lakers are trying to turn him into something. We'll see if the Lakers are able to find that trade, but time will tell, right? And one of the things that you see a lot in especially the NBA, but sports in general, like when you're talking the trade front, right? Nothing has happened yet. You had the Mikal Bridges trade, which was just like an insane overpay, and everyone was like, oh, that just set the market. And I was like, nah, like people understand the outliers, right? You saw it with the Rudy Gobert trade. A lot of people thought Rudy Gobert trade, oh no, that just set the market. Everything's going to be insane. And it had zero impact, right? Like nothing else went to the level of that. Sometimes there are these just little circumstances where people understand, like this teams believe that that's the missing piece to take them over the top. So they're willing to overpay for such, right? And it doesn't impact the other trades. And then you look at like the DeJounte Murray trade and it's like, oh, okay, like look how little he went for in comparison to what people thought he would go for. Outside of that, there hasn't been any trades really. All the trades that have happened during the free agency period, during this offseason, have all been free agency signings. They've all been sign-in trades. All the guys that have been available, all the players that have been on the market are still all on the market. And we're waiting for that first domino to fall. And that's what I kind of want to talk about. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. But right now, it seems like the first potential domino will be Lauri Markkanen potentially going to the Warriors. Right? Warriors are pushing hard for Lauri Markkanen. A lot of reports say that they're basically in the driver's seat, that a trade is imminent is the words that were used in that regard. And so if that's the case, if it's a matter of when rather than if, then that could potentially be that first domino that kind of sets the further dominoes to start to fall. Where now it's like, okay, now like you see it like even with free agency, everyone's kind of waiting around, and then that first guy signs. And then that first guy signs, and then it's like boom, 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 boom. Because also teams are trying to see like, okay, who's left on the market? Like who's on the table? Okay, if Lauri Markkanen's gone, where do these teams pivot? It's not that Lauri Markkanen, because again, Lauri Markkanen I think will be another kind of outlier trade, right? Chances are the Warriors are probably going to overpay for Lauri Markkanen, but they're kind of in a position where they have to, right? They're kind of in this position where they don't really have a choice, right? Because they need to get somebody for Steph, and I think everybody kind of understands that. But what that trade could potentially do is all the other teams that were interested in maybe trying to snag Lauri Markkanen that are all kind of waiting to see, okay, do the Warriors pull it off? If not, maybe we can swoop it, right? Like everyone's trying to see like what is going to happen with that domino. Right now it's teetering. Is it going to fall or is it going to stay upright? Because if it stays upright, then now the Warriors probably pivot elsewhere. And now if you're a team that has like a Jeremy Grant or Cam Johnson or any of these guys, right? Now if you're one of those teams, you're waiting to see, okay, if the Warriors miss out on Lauri Markkanen, where are they going to pivot to next? Are they really going to trade Steph Curry? Right? There's a lot of talks about, Steph potentially, he said he doesn't want to be on a bottom feeder, right? Does that end up happening? Or what I think is more likely, they pivot and they go to try to make another type of trade or maybe even multiple trades to try to raise the talent on the roster. So if you're all these other teams, you don't have this incentive to hurry up, let's get a trade done, let's get this out immediately, and now you're going elsewhere. No, you're in a position where, hey, you have 2.5 months for training camp, right? Or whatever it is, right? And so you want to be as patient as possible because the more patient you are, the more likely one of these teams get desperate. I mean, even the Lakers. Do the Lakers at some point, do they feel this sense? Like, let's say the Warriors do get Lauri Markkanen. Do the Lakers now have another kind of like, like we really got to get something done here? Everybody's, everyone's adding this firepower. Like, we got to make a move. If you're a team that's in negotiations with the Lakers right now, you're not in a rush. You're waiting to see. Does Lauri Markkanen go to the Warriors? Because if he goes to the Warriors, guess what? The price just raised. Right? If he goes to the Warriors, it's like, hey, man, you guys need the firepower. You guys want to match up. You guys want to be, one of those contending teams. Warriors could leapfrog you. Now you're out of the play-in. Grizzlies are coming up. Like, you start framing it that way to where it's like, hey, now there's this new level of desperation that you didn't have prior. Where now if he doesn't go to the stage where, Lauri Markkanen ends up going to the Warriors, well, now again, if you're one of these other teams that are in the market, now you're like, okay, well, the Warriors could potentially drive up the price, right? Teams are trying to fleece the Lakers regardless, right? And you have to look at it at the perspective of the opposing team, not the Laker team. It's not in their interest to trade right now. Like, so many people are like, if a trade was there, they would have already gotten done, all this stuff. Not necessarily, right? Like, teams know what the Lakers have. I said this about the Russell Westbrook trade, right? I talked about this years ago. We had the videos and all that stuff. And what did I say back then? I said, teams know, like, they're not going anywhere. The package of the trade, they're not going anywhere. Right? So if you're a team that's looking to sell and potentially trade with the Lakers, it is in your best interest to wait as long as possible. Right? Now, obviously, again, once you get closer to training camp, prices start to drop a little bit because it's like, do we really want to go into the season with a Zach LaVine? We really want to go into a season with the Jeremy Grant, right? Like, okay, maybe we take what the Lakers are offering, like if it's within reason, right? Maybe they go, Lakers are offering a first for Jeremy Grant. Maybe we just take that first. That way we can kind of tank, get a better draft pick, kind of free up minutes for these other teams, right? You see those kinds of things happen. I'm not saying it's guaranteed that it'll happen, but that's usually how it goes. So to me, we're all kind of just standing on eggshells waiting for that first domino to drop. And wherever that first domino drops could have the ripple effects that could potentially benefit the Lakers, but could also negatively impact the Lakers. And in the sense of benefiting the Lakers, again, let's say a team like Utah does trade Lauri Markkanen, they might go, okay, let's move off of everybody. So now there's more options on the market, right? Maybe the teams that are limited, because there's like the same teams that keep being mentioned in trades. Right? It's like a handful of teams that are really pushing to try to make a trade. Most teams are pretty much set, pretty much intact. Could there be that surprise team that comes out of left field for a particular guy or something? Sure, of course. But for the most part, it's just kind of like the same like handful to maybe a little more of teams. So the more talent, the more injection of options, the better it is for the Lakers, because the more likely it is that the Lakers will get somebody, right? If there's, say 5 teams, not counting the Lakers, but there are 7 prospects that all make sense for the Lakers, that all 7 of these guys make sense. Even if all 5 of those guys get a trade done, well, now it takes those guys out of the market. Now there's 2 guys left where the Lakers can go, hey, both of these guys, we love these guys make sense, right? Let's go get these guys, right? Now you're going, maybe Jeremy Grant is still left. And everyone, somebody goes and lands Cam Johnson, right? Maybe Orlando, land Cam Johnson. And then, maybe another team goes and, trades for Wendell Carter Jr., right? And it's like Utah's like, we would like to move off. Maybe the Lakers end up with a Jeremy Grant and a Wendell Carter, right? Also, look, I don't know if the Lakers would ever actually do the LaVine trade, but the LaVine trade isn't going anywhere. And that trade makes a lot of sense for the Lakers. So, again, it's in the Lakers' interest to be patient as well. Right now, everyone's asking prices insane because it's kind of like, hey, you want them now? It's going to cost a little more. But then reality starts setting in closer to training camp. Teams are kind of like, we don't really want this guy or that guy. Right? All of a sudden, prices start dropping a little bit. Now, Lakers, maybe they can kind of sneak in and get a guy that they want at the price that they want. If there were all these trades going off, boom, 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 right? And it's like the Lakers are just kind of sitting on their thumbs and nothing's really happening, be a little more concerned, right? Especially like if it's the guys that make sense. If it's a bunch of other guys, I don't really care, right? Like if it's like, some like Bruce Brown and some like, all these guys where it's like, okay, well, the Lakers aren't really targeting any of those guys, so it doesn't matter. Right? Then I don't really care. But like, let's say like Cam Johnson gets traded, Jeremy Grant gets traded, right? Wendell Carter Jr. gets traded. And it's like, what are the Lakers doing here? Now all of a sudden it's kind of like, all right, so Lakers probably aren't getting anything done. But the best news is no news, right? Like the best news is nothing's happened yet. So everybody's kind of just waiting. It's like an eye staring contest. You're sitting there just like, try not to blink, and the first one blink loses. And then we're just waiting for that first person to go, and then there you go. Now everybody starts blinking, and now you get the contagion that is the trade market, and everyone's, oh, you get this person, you get this person, you get this person, right? So again, there's a lot of time. It's frustrating. Get it? I'm frustrated too at times. I talk about it all the time. The balance of content creator and fan is very very challenging at times, because it's just like, as a fan, as just, you know, a diehard Laker fan, like, I want things done immediately. I'm like, come on, like, get this over with. But as like the Laker fan, as the content creator in me, it's kind of like, you know, hey, the longer this draws out, the more rumors, the more news, the more stuff that comes out that gives us stuff to talk about, dive into, and explore. You know, so it's this like tug of war, constant tug of war. But look, I would love to get something done, right? Like, if something gets done, I'm happy, right? Because at the end of the day, the best thing for business is the Lakers being good, right? Lakers are good, usually channels are good, right? Because it's like, hey, everyone's checking on the Lakers, everyone's excited for the Lakers. So we'll see how it plays out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, we kind of just need that first domino to fall? Once that domino tips over, boom, let's go. We're off to the races. Do you think, no, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant regardless? I would feel whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.